Russian Orthodox Church, well, Russian Christianity in Russia existed and flourished for about 900 years until the communists, the Bolsheviks, seized power in a coup in 1917. Russian populace was mostly religious, most were Christian. The Russians had foundation, God. The communists tried to erase God from the hearts of people and then replace God with own God, the Communist Party. And they partially succeeded. They destroyed most churches, killed most, if not all, popes, and killed and imprisoned millions of believers who did not give up their faith. The communists created a generation of atheists. No, more than atheists. People who were not only intolerant to the believers, but they were very aggressive. They were killing the believers for their faith, for believing in Jesus Christ. The commies, they didn't want competition for the hearts of people. It's much easier to fill it with ideology, with, the new beliefs, if the heart is empty. If it has God in it and if it's full of love, empathy, remorse, forgiveness, then it's much harder to replace those things with communism. But again, many Russians did not give up their faith. Then the communists did a truly genius move. They recreated the old church and called it Russian Orthodox Church. The year of church's rebirth was 1945, and the event was called the local council, Поместный собор. 204 members came to Поместный собор. 204 popes were the founding members of Russian Orthodox Church the way we know it today. Believers, rejoice. You have your church now, Moskovsky Patriarchat, right? Well, wrong. All was good, all was excellent, except for one little tiny thing, All 204 founding members worked for the KGB. This is a fact. In the early 90s, in the free years, the best time in the entire Russia's history, that's my opinion, the KGB archives were declassified and open to public. Something unthinkable right now. And it just happened mere 30 years ago. I still remember it clearly. So we cannot argue with the fact that the foundation of Russian Orthodox Church, Moskovsky Patriarchat, was laid by none other than mighty powerful KGB itself. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin, and welcome to Inside Russia, where I give you important news updates that explain what is truly happening in Russia today. What you will not find on this channel is BS, propaganda and lies. What you will find is truth, common sense, and logic, and some emotions, because I am a human being. Inside Russia is where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. For the first 30 or so minutes, I deliver a message of the day, and then I invite everyone to carry on into a public live stream chat where we converse and I answer questions. I like that very much. I invite you to join. Thank you so much for coming and joining me today. Thank you for giving me a chance. Let's talk about why Vladimir Putin is afraid of church. Well, some church. So, like I said, Russian Orthodox Church was created by KGB. Not Christianity, but Russian Orthodox Church in the modern way we know it. it was created in 1945. I saw the archived documents myself, so that's a fact. But you might say, hey, Constantine, everything is different now. Everything's changed. Russian church is different. Oh, come on. Soviet times, everything was different. People changed. It's run by different people. Well, let's take a look at the people. Some people it's run by right now. Let's take a look at the current leader of Russian Orthodox Church. His name is Vladimir Gundyaev, and he's known to the world as Patriarch Kirill. He was a KGB agent nicknamed Mikhailov. Yes, every KGB agent had nickname. Starting at the age of 24, Agent Mikhailov represented Russian Orthodox Church in foreign countries, namely in Switzerland for 3 years, New Zealand, Thailand, Canada, India, Denmark, Czechoslovakia, and some other countries. Starting 1975, he was represented at top positions of Russian Orthodox Church. Did it have anything to do with him being a KGB agent? You judge for yourself. But I don't believe that people change that much. Funny how Russia's premier church is led by a former KGB agent, and Russia itself is led by a former KGB officer, semi-colonel. That's the same agency. Gosh, they speak the same language. I wonder if they go and visit each other sometimes and then remember old good times, But my stream is not about Gundyaev, he's Patriarch Kirill, but about Vladimir Putin and his circle that are afraid of church. Now, let me cite you Constitution of Russian Federation, Article 28. It says, everyone is guaranteed freedom of conscience, freedom of religion, including the right to profess individually or jointly with others any religion or not to profess any, to freely choose, have, and disseminate religious and other beliefs and act in accordance with them. Not too bad. Russian government was not afraid of church. Not Soviet. Soviet had just church under its finger, should I say. Well, it was the shareholder of the church, so to speak. So Soviet government had no problem with Soviet Russian Orthodox Church, Soviet Orthodox Church whatsoever. But Russian government, 1991 and on, was not afraid of church. It simply did not care. Russian government was not powerful, as definitely did not poke its nose into Russian people's lives whatsoever. I remember those times very well, and let me tell you, government control was non-existent. People could believe, could pray, could do anything they wanted to. From 1991 to about 2011, that was happening for about 20 years, and then things started changing. I would say that everything changed in late 2011. Russian government set itself a new goal to start controlling lives of regular folks, all areas of lives completely. The war on Russian people's minds was declared. Think about it. Think about how can you control people's wishes to protest, to move in and out of the country, to elect individual members of parliaments, to choose what kind of church to attend, to choose, there are these are gargantuan, huge, enormous topic for the government. Yet Russian government has been very successful at reaching goals stepping stones, boiling the frog strategy. Let's talk about the church or churches. Um, Russian government started paying close attention to churches operating in Russia in about 2011, 2012. And how does Russian government pays close attention? It forbids operation of church or bans church. And Russian government started taking steps. There were quite a few churches that simply were not allowed to operate in Russia anymore, banned. They include the International Christian Movement New Generation and the Evangelical Protestant Christian Church New Generation from the Republic of Latvia, as well as spiritual administration of Evangelical Christians of the Ukrainian Christian Church New Generation, in the International Bible College New Generation from Ukraine. That was like early birds. Then Russian government started paying attention to other religions, such as Krishna followers, such as Scientologists, which I have no problem with, Russian government looking deeply into Scientologists at all. But hey, they were banned as well. Then Mormons were put under microscope, so to speak, and there have been numerous controls to control Mormons. And then, in my mind, a very big event happened in Russia. Quite a few years ago, about 6 years ago, Jehovah's Witnesses were banned. Let's learn what Russian government said about Jehovah's Witnesses. The Jehovah's Witnesses sect, yeah, they call it a sect, banned in the Russian Federation is destructive. Its activities are destructive in nature and include brainwashing young people, forcing the sect members to reject universal values, including the value of human life. Now, is that Russian government, is it talking about Jehovah's Witnesses? Because I met many folks from Jehovah's Witnesses. They came to my house back in the early 90s. I met them in the United States all over. They knocked on my doors in the USA. We talked about God. And I even hosted at my hotels, there were 2 conventions. It's called the Watchtower of Maine or New England. Anyway, we had like an enormous convention of Jehovah's Witnesses. And I met them. I shook their hands, I spoke to them. I spoke to the leaders. And guess what? Very nice folks. They definitely value human life. They're not a sect, and they had very good universal human values, But that's not what Russian government thinks of them. Now, it also says that the aggressive policy of promoting the activities of Jehovah's Witnesses on the territory of Russian Federation has led to a rapid increase in the number of members of this organization. Thoughtful ways of fooling young people and taking away property, which I have not heard personally of Jehovah's Witnesses taking away property of people, have been brought to perfection. Sponsoring an organization from abroad. Haha. Now we're talking. You see? That's where the smoke is coming from. Sponsoring the organization from abroad. Imposing an alien ideology. Alien ideology, I see. Demanding blind obedience to the leadership. To Jesus Christ, perhaps? Renouncing one's civic duty. Probably civic duty not to take up, renouncing, duty to take up arms and go and kill Ukrainians, perhaps, I'd renounce those duties as well. All these are two dangerous trends in the conditions of growing number of sect members. That's what Russian government thinks of Jehovah's Witnesses. So you see what's going on. Russian law enforcement, state prosecutors, прокуратура, Следственный комитет, police force, etc. They think like this. A few people gathered together, prayed, read the Bible. You evangelical Christians or Pentecostals. So this is the activity of an undesirable extremist organization. And by the way, the Church of Pentecostals, the Baptist church, that my parents were part of that church, well, still part of a church, mom, they're also banned in Russia. So you gather together, you congregate, you read the Bible, you pray. Undesirable extremist organization now. Unless, of course, you go to the Russian Eastern Orthodox Church. And now what happens? What kind of prosecution, happens if you read the Bible, pray, and gather together? If you're an evangelical Christian or Pentecostal or Jehovah's Witness, well, for repeated participation in the activities of such organization, criminal liability under Article 284.1 of the Criminal Code of Russian Federation, it is also criminally punishable to provide financial support to such organization and to organize activities of such organizations on the territory of Russian Federation. You want to get together and pray, read Bible? Well, it's illegal. So why is it so? Well, obviously, Jehovah's Witnesses didn't really bother anyone. Basically, it spread the word of God to everyone, right? And other smaller churches like that. There have been quite a number of churches that have been banned and or put under microscope, interfered. Why? Whose way they stand in? Why the only church basically left unbothered is Russian Orthodox Church, Moscowski Patriarchat? Why? It has monopoly on religion in Russian somehow, Why does Vladimir Putin and his friends who run Russia do that? Why do I allow that? Because in my mind, faith cannot coexist with control. Faith sets you free. When you believe in God, you cannot be controlled by men, because there are no men above you. And this goes against the principle of Russian government. The Russian government thinks, acts, and now it's legally stated that the Russian government is way above people. Russian government bans and destroys everything it cannot control. And let's go back into the beginning of the stream. Remember Russian Orthodox Church? Who was it created by and who is it controlled, led by right now? Are you putting 2 and 2 together? I am. Russian government does not have to reinvent the wheel. It just have to dust off those old archives of the KGB and follow what's been done before. Once it has already succeeded in completely controlling the church, and church helps Russian government control the people, plain and simple. If you recall what quite a few popes were saying, very recently, a few months ago, including Patriarch Kirill, they were saying it's okay to go and kill people in Ukraine because they're enemies, okay? Some popes were saying that, if you kill the enemies, you go to heaven, things like that. That kind of looks very disturbing to me, very strange. But, hey, it's the church allowed by the Russian government. I don't know what kind of connection they have. Does the church report to government officials? On what level? Only at the top level, if, or perhaps on the bottom as well. I don't know. But I definitely smell something stinky there. I think that the only... I was talking to a friend of mine. I was consulting because he's pretty knowledgeable about Russia's Orthodox Church. And I was arguing. He said, look, Putin is not afraid of church. He's not afraid of anyone. He's just afraid of one thing. He's just afraid of losing power and that his life will end. That's it. And I agree with that. But I think that Putin is very nervous about everything that might pose a threat to his power. And church, in my mind, a true church is inside every one of us, in our hearts. That kind of church cannot be controlled by the government. It cannot be controlled by people. It's right here. And basically that is God. Because our hearts have love and God is love. And whatever Putin and his friends cannot control, they are anxious, they are concerned, they are stressed about, and perhaps they're afraid. So they definitely cannot control Jehovah's Witnesses, because I don't think there are any KGB members in among Jehovah's Witnesses. They definitely cannot control churches that are organized by small groups of people, and they're not about money, that they're about congregating, reading Bible, praying. And that's exactly what the Russian criminal code says that people cannot do if they're labeled undesirable organization or extremist organization in Russia. You see, this is exactly what they're trying to bust. And they've been pretty successful at that. The only church they're not afraid is, again, their church. But I was going to say if I were a believer, no, how to say it right. I am a believer, and I'm not really worried about churches because, like I said, true church is inside of every one of us, and we shouldn't be worrying about the government banning it. The government forbidding us to, to pray and follow our hearts. That's really impossible. So I think all true believers in Russia are saved. And I think all true believers are not in danger. Those Jehovah's Witnesses who have been in prison, there are some they're still serving their prison time. They're also saved because God sees everything and God will reward them at the end. And boy, I am not envious to the people who have been organizing this fake thing with church and controlling people's minds with church help. Or God help them. Before I finish, I'm gonna say that somehow, so there's a Church of Satan registered in the Russian Federation. It was registered in 2015, I believe, by a fella named Oleg Satanovsky, or Sataninsky, and that's his last name. And to my knowledge, the Church of Satan of Russian Federation has not been banned. This has been my message for today. Thank you so much for joining and listening. Fantastic to have you here. If you found what I said interesting, please let me know in the comments where I invite everyone to go to. Let me just turn the comments on and we are good to go. There you go. Thank you so much. We're set for the comments. Mommy, Lorna, Black Cat, howdy, howdy. Bob S., Harry Potman, and Amir. Thank you for coming back again. And the usual suspects, great, fantastic to see you. Hope everyone is having a good Sunday. Thank you for coming. If you want a comment or question to be seen by me easily, then please put it in caps and put inside Russia after that sign so it jumps into my eyes, highlighted in orange. Just like RBEC 820 did. 5x5 here in Kentucky. Thank you so much. Sending love to Kentucky from Tashkent, Uzbekistan. RW, thank you. Fantastic to have you and see you here. 20 gifts of sponsorship to people, members. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 20 people have just become sponsors, courtesy of you. RW, thank you so much. Thank you. Multi-Ducky, howdy. Wayne, Remy Leon. Suzanne Samuelson from Sweden. Good evening to you all from me from Sweden. Midnight, well past midnight here in Tashkent. John, howdy. White Lightning, Koshkin Dom, Theodore. Folks, did you know that the Russian Orthodox Church was founded by 204 members, 100% of them KGB agents? Did you know? Was it news for you? Marie Nissen, I wondered why you didn't go to church in Russia. I did, because I cannot say that entire Russian church is KGB, all agents. And no, there are good priests there. There are priests with real faith. There are good deeds happen in the church. I mean, it's not all bad. It's just I really question the leadership of the church. And I started questioning it more after start of the war. After the atrocities, I started hearing from local popes. My hair started, like, how do you say it in English? Started standing up on my head, so to speak. That's the wrong word in English, but I don't know how to explain when, all of a sudden you hear just dances on your head. I do go to church, but I don't speak to priests. This is a place of spiritual refuge for me. I stand there, I pray in front of the icons, I take candles and I light them up in memory of people of my family who are not with us any longer and things like that, So I do go to church, and I do go to church here in Tashkent, but it's for me personally. It's not for the church, if you know what I mean. Nickelodeon surname. I was under the impression that Russians or Russian society was mostly atheistic. Was it? We're about the same age, Constantine. No, Soviets were, but then there was a spiritual revival, I would say, in the 90s, because people kind of woke up. So I cannot say that mostly atheistic. I would say that mostly Christian. Christian, lots of Muslim, and there are quite a few Buddhists, and that's about it. Dave Strains, thank you so much. I like this color too. In Russia, it's called electric, and then in English, it's called turquoise. Crusader Damien, why is this is why Ukraine is cracking down on the Russian Orthodox Church, which is not a church at all, but just an extension of KGB. Might be a good priest somewhere. Might be a good priest somewhere. Well, I can assure you, there are good priests in Russian Orthodox Church, just like in the Russian society. Not everyone supports the war. There are millions of people who are against it. There are millions of people who are of good values, and just good. Same thing with the church. It's just, I cannot disagree with you on the first statement. And I think this is exactly why they're cracking down on it. Jason Carney, thank you again. The champion of supporting, the champion of the champions. Thank you. Fantastic to see you. Thank you so much. I got to do something special for you. Do you mind dropping me a line in the email? Thank you so much. Thank you. Richard Burris from Orange County, California. RCW, there's a waxing and warning of Morlock energy. I didn't understand that. I don't know what Morlock energy is. I'm sorry. X-Flying Tiger, Lake Shasta is in the house. Off topic. We watched Citizen X last night. Eye-opening and scary. We heard about it on your stream. X-Flying Tiger, let me tell you something. John, Nikki. That maniac murdered, I think it was a boy from my school. I was at third grade, and entire school went to the funeral. Entire, not just school, but entire city block, like city district. The first time in my life I saw that amount of people. Third grade, I didn't understand. I think I was 9 or 10. I didn't quite understand the tragedy that happened, but it was obviously a tragic day, But that was Chikatilo's deed. And my mom met the investigator who actually caught him. His name was Burakov. It got so bad that when I was attending third, fourth, fifth grades, our parents would take turns and they would go to school and they would accompany us walking from school to our, apartments. They were parents' patrols of school districts. So basically, one murder happened not too far from my apartment, within like 3 or 4 miles. And then a friend of mine was chased. We don't know by Chikatilo or not, but he was coming back home late one night, and a man started like running to him and chasing him, and there was a chase, and the guy started screaming something, and then passerbyers, couple people noticed, and the guy who was chasing him just ran the other way. So it could have been him too. So it was very personal to me and to my parents and to everyone in Rostov in those days. White lightning. Jehovah's Witnesses grossly abuse their members, including children. Highway robbery. Loopholes in the law prevent bans. Thousands suffer horribly. Look, I have not heard anything about that. I've met personally Jehovah's Witnesses. I can't argue with you. I just don't know. But the people I met were super nice. And as far as I remember, they used Bible. Like people even came to our apartment. They knocked door to door. We discussed, they came to our place a couple times, and we were actually, they were teaching us Bible, like real Bible. So I didn't have a problem with that. Andrew Hodson, greetings from South Africa. Howdy, howdy. Could you please tell us, what do people say about in South Africa about warning Putin that if he came to South Africa, he'd be arrested and deported to Hague, to the Netherlands? That'd be interesting to know. Joanna, thank you so much. Interesting opinion. Ex-communist countries, including Russia, need the church as an electoral agent, so the state encourages religions as long as they're under state control, using them in each electoral circle. In Russia, I disagree with you here. In Russia, they don't use church as electoral agent. They just simply don't need. They engineer election results, okay? They use church to control people's minds more here in Russia. There in Russia. Paula W., I could say so much on this subject. It's been a hobby to study different beliefs, but difficult on here. There are good and bad in all religions, especially these days. Paula, I cannot disagree with you here. Kelly, howdy, howdy. Gloria, Sam K, Scott Nesbitt, Spiral's End, howdy. Mary, I saw a priest blessing a missile with holy water. Very strange. Guess what church that priest was from? Yep. More strange. I mean, how more strange can it be that if priest blessing a missile with holy water, but they were blessing rockets that are called Satana, Satan. I'm a little slow or dumb, but you know what? I have a problem with that. Brian, thank you. Thank you so much. Ted Paul, in 2001, 0.8% of the UK population put their religion as Jedi on the national census. Interesting. Matt's fan, I thought that Christmas was a big holiday in Russia. No, it's not. New Year is a big holiday. Christmas is a religious holiday. It's not commercial. People go to church. Some people go to church, but it's not as big as New Year. Jennifer Kendo, I read about Putin being superstitious and moved a holy artifact from a museum into a church to see if that will help with the war. You heard right. It happened. It's a fact. It happened a couple days ago. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know how to comment. Uh, is it a normal thing to do? No. Is it a sane thing to do? I doubt it. English breakfast twinings. It gives me power to go, you know. This stream is run on English breakfast. Not this. I mean, this channel is run on English breakfast tea. Dell, best wishes of health from UK. Thank you. I just read your message on Patreon. Alison Marlowe, does Russian Orthodox Church have confession like Catholic Church? No, it does not. If churches have spirits, I've never seen whiskey, rum, or vodka. You're being smart, huh? Lisa, how different is the Orthodox Church from the Catholic Church? Pope Francis is for peace. To me, well, first of all, Catholic Church is present in Russia, but it's also under microscope. Okay, it's not very widespread here in Russia, and there has been a huge stand between Russian Orthodox Church and Catholic Church. Pope Francis is for peace, and I know that. I've heard that before. I've seen it, and I appreciate it very much. I wish Patriarch Kirill was for peace as well. How different is the Orthodox Church from the Catholic Church? Both go by Bible. Both are Christian. Both have Jesus Christ that everyone prays to. Just different ceremonies, I think. That's it. Different structure, different system of control. That's pretty much it. Chirper, howdy, howdy. Pacific Beach is in the house. Crusader Damien, is there a religious holiday bigger than May 9th? Don't overestimate May 9th. It's not a religious holiday, never has been. They're trying to make it one last year, this year, but that's not gonna last. Okay, that's temporary. Do you know that until, I think, 1965, May 9th was not even a holiday? It was like a regular day. My both grandparents, they went through entire war from day one to the last day. They didn't like to talk about war. To them, May 9th was not a holiday. It's Putin and his buddies, they're trying to make May 9th a religious holiday. But, you know, mark my words, it's not going to last. Mean Metal Mike, praise our Savior and Jesus. Well, we pray every single day at the end. Just Terry, guess I will leave Lorna and Terry is crying. That's not right. Terry, you cannot leave. RW, I have to second the problem with the child abuse in Jehovah's Witnesses, and that most of them are decent people with some different takes on religion. Humans, go figure. Thank you, RW. Very valued opinion. Thank you so much. Sam K. It's just you are a king of humor today. Huh? At the beginning of the stream, Constantine said, "No man is above us. What happens if you live at the bottom of a tower block?" Well, I still, you know, second my words. Still, even if I live at the bottom of a tower block, there's still no man above me. Sorry, Sam. Marie, a person's knowing the sacred is a delicate thing and seems to be in contradiction with the authoritarian state run religion. I do not understand how it could exist in Russia. Well, that's basically what my stream is all about today. I tried to bring in awareness, you know. Mr. Pink, thank you so much, in memory of a 7-year-old Alisa who was killed in May 22 by a bomb, fell onto school in Sumy. Sumy, she was 3 months from her 8th birthday. I remember her case. You know, I pray for Ukrainian children every single day, and I will keep on doing that. So, thank you for bringing that up. KG1, thank you. Putin uses religion for propaganda reasons and has criticized Western churches, for example, Church of England recently, about neutral gender of God. Well, you know what? He can criticize whatever he wants to. He can do whatever he wants to. He's done enough. He's criticized enough. He's lied enough. He's done and done. In my eyes and the eyes of many, many millions of Russians. Palvier Flex, howdy. Jodes Rames, only disagreement I have with Jehovah's Witnesses are no blood transfusions. I don't know. It's people's choice. I don't even know how to comment on that. Whatever they want. Faith Russard must be aware of wolf in sheep's clothing. Diana Smith, the relationship of church and state is pretty odd in many countries. I lived many years in the Republic of Ireland, where the church was an instrument in controlling people. Unfortunately, that's very unfortunate. It shouldn't happen. Amanda, that door-to-door stuff always creeped me out. I'd hide. They knocked on my door in Rostov. They knocked on my door in Moscow. They knocked on my door in Biddeford, Maine. Medvedev is on an important mission to Hanoi. More 50-year-old ammo coming. I don't think he'll make a deal to bring anything to Russia. Leslie Fleming must have been Putin's Russian Orthodox blessing the rockets, and you're not too far from the truth at all. But mark my words, when everything ends and the tide will turn, those priests, those high up, not the highest one, but the high ups, they will turn around and they will be saying, "Oh, that never happened." The ones who did that, they're not true members of church, and so forth and so forth. You mark my words on that. Crusader Damien, I admire that quote, "No man is above me. I bend the knee to God only and raise my sword to tyranny." Makes two of us. Thank you. Jehovah's Witnesses aren't generally regarded as a Christian Koshkin Dom, who are they, if not Christian? They came to my house with a Bible, regular Bible. Jeffrey S., howdy, howdy. Thank you so much. No message, but you always come up with good messages. Mean Metal Mike, what would God's judgment for Mr. Putin be? Look, who are we to discuss God's judgment for Vladimir Putin? That's going to be between Vladimir Putin and God, okay? And that's it. And that's how it's done. Mine will be between me and God. Yours between you and God. And same goes for Putin. That's how it works. I have no clue. And good luck to Putin when he meets God. Join in late, somebody said. People calling themselves Christian in the USA think they're prosecuted. Saying happy holidays instead of Merry Christmas offends them. They need to get out more. Well, I think you're generalizing. At least I met all kinds of people. I met people saying happy holidays. I met people saying Merry Christmas. In my family, they always said Merry Christmas. It's about celebration, okay? It's interesting. It's not the first time I noticed this like split in American society. I'm not gonna discuss it, and please let's not discuss it. But that's interesting and disturbing at the same time. Karen from Maine is here. Where? Karen, howdy, howdy. Fantastic to see you. My grown-up artistic son learned that it's cool to pray out loud from watching you. Wow. I'm so touched. Thank you so much. My hugs and, the best wishes to your son. That's fantastic. It's a gift you gave us. Thank you. Well, it's not I gave you the gift. It kind of came from my heart, and there's God in my heart, so it kind of came from God. Karen, let me tell you how Michael started praying. He started speaking at age 1+, 6 months or something like that. And I was speaking English to him, and Natasha was speaking Russian. So he started understanding me and Natasha at the same time. So he was kind of like growing up bilingual. But then an odd thing happened. He started getting away from me. He started crying when I would just hold him in my arms, and he would start turning hostile to me. And then we went to a psychologist, and she said, try speaking Russian to him, because he sees that you speak very strange language that you speak to no one else. You speak to your wife, your daughters, your other kids Russian, and him it's just English. So he thinks that you are punishing, alienating him. And I started speaking Russian to him, and boom, that everything went back to normal within like 2 weeks. So spoke Russian, and I prayed every single night before going to bed. And we slept, we had one huge bed in Rostov, and we slept in one bed. And, he didn't want to go to his own bed. He had a crib, but he was just throw a fist. And he started speaking at age two, I think, maybe like, he started speaking well, like carrying conversation and so forth. Anyway, one of the first things that he started doing, he started repeating prayers after me before we went to bed. And he did that every single night. I would pray with him always. He would pray he prayed with me, and he would repeat after me. Sometimes I'd say, "Hey, let's take turns. You lead, and I'll repeat after you." And you know what? He still does that. When we're together, he does that. When he is away with mom in Moscow, he always leads the prayer, and then after he's done, Natasha prays. So that's what happens in my family. Time's up. Thank you. Okie dokie, gonna be wrapping it up. Just Terry, thank you. I don't consider myself a great influence. I just try to do my best every day. That's all. Yeah, I'm seeing that time is up. Okay. Thank you. Famous Maynard, thank you. I got that. Miles David, thank you. Is Medvedev a real threat now or in the future? No, he's not. He's a clown. Does he just talk like a bully to impress Putin or the inner circle? Can you go in depth a bit? I did 2 or 3 streams on Dmitry Medvedev. Go back and check it out. I mean, what else can I say? I'd be repeating myself. Search Medvedev in my streams. So, Inside Russia Medvedev. Ben Hammer ready. What's going on? When you're talking about how precious my nephew is, you're preaching to. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. It's very touching. Okay, Lorna, let's wrap it up. Um, Folks, let's that's enough for this stream. Let's finish another stream with a prayer, like we usually do. I am asking everyone to join me if you're religious, or if you're not, it doesn't matter. I have not seen not a non-religious person in my life. Well, let's put it this way: I have not seen a person who doesn't have God inside him or her in my life once, because we all have hearts. They beat, and there's love in everyone's heart for someone or something or somebody. I have not seen one person without love. Some have more love, some have less love, but love, there is love in every heart. And then God is love, Therefore, God is in every single beating heart on this earth. So let's pray and ask for, pray for people, ask for good, send them prayers, good vibes, good energy. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you for giving us, putting food on our tables and roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding us with people who we love and people who love us. Please give us wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads peaceful and raise them in a way that when they grow up, they will make this place a better world. Please keep our children safe and healthy. Dear Lord, please help stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. Reach out and touch the hearts of those who are responsible, who can make decision to stop the bloodshed. Fill the hearts with love, mercy, empathy, forgiveness. Make them wake up from the lethargic sleep they have been at, so they realize what has happened and get terrified and make decision to stop the bloodshed. Please help every single Ukrainian who has been affected by this terrible tragedy. Thank you so much for not leaving them. Answer the prayers, make the wishes come true. Dear Lord, please send every Ukrainian an angel so the angels keep people away from harm's way. Please help my country, Russia. Send the army of your strongest angels with sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael, to come down to this earth and get rid of the demons that have hijacked my country. We really need that army as soon as possible. Please send them. Please do not forget about us. So the angels come down in a huge force and clean Russia and run Russia and make it peaceful, make it right, and make it good. Please help all who are traveling, send them safe travels. Please help to all who are seeking political asylum, send them, or any kind of asylum, please send them help and good people. Please help all single mothers out there who are struggling, bringing up their kids. Please do not forget about them. Shine your heavenly light upon them. Please help all believers who are persecuted because of their faith. Keep their faith strong. Send their help their way. Send them angels. Reinforce them with your light. Please help all the hungry, homeless, the jobless, sick, depressed, the ones who are struggling with faith, who have low self-esteem. Please shine your light upon them. Fill their hearts with love. Give them hope so they feel good about their lives again, and they have another chance at happiness, at having a happy life. Dear God, please give us all peaceful skies above our heads, and help all the women, pregnant women, who are trying to who are trying to make a decision whether to keep their babies or not. Please reach out and talk to them so they make the right choice. Thank you so much for allowing us to form this community, create this community, and come together every day. Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to pray. Help everyone who is praying right now. please have everyone their prayers answered and have everyone's wish come true. Thank you so much. I would like to ask you to help people who need your help real bad. They are Rod, Sandra's husband, Greg, Jim and Shirley Hall, Delaney and her 2 children, Ann Larson, her family and daughter Hannah, Florentina, Mac's family, Patty L., Sherry Moran, CKOC, Brian Wilkes, Amir's uncle Dicky, Liz Dombrell and her grandparents, Matthias, Ripted, daughter of Aspen English, Ruth, Paul, Susan, Alona and the boys, Rudy Kaisley, Darla, Bib, Santa's Whiskey, Paula McDonald, White Lightning, George Ruberty, Dave Strains, Pam, Wayne, Shirley and Debbie, Jen Allen, Finola, Lars Henrik's mother, the Highwayman, Essie from the Scottish Isles, Outlander and family, Choriz and family, David Porter and his family, and everyone from Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Lars, Susan Marshall, Beulah, Lazarus, Boss Simon, Alvin's sister, Teresa D., Terry Carter, Joe and Lee McMahon, Meta Spencer, Deanna and family, Bree's friend, Caroline, Albina Fell, Michael Yukon, Joel Life, Karine Vasseur, Pamela J., Daniel 9, Lindsay, Larry, Yelena, Natasha, Brittany S., Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Igor, Svetlana, Karen, Janine, Michael Milkovitz, Marlene, Paul Bins, Richard, Mallory M., Dirk Misler, Linda, Terry, Hannah and her children, Richard Burris, Angelic at Life, and Scan family's grandson, Randolph, Barb, Nelly, Arkady and Yuri, Harry's family, Verlinda's niece, Doug, King Nero, Gaby Hyman, Donald, Deborah, Alisa's son, Jade Kaltenberg, Alice and Dave Moyers, Maureen M., and her sister, Mr. Hanson, Heidi, Bob, Matt, Ashley and family, Mr. Dean Spooner, his church, called Our Savior Lutheran Church, Lisa Cumrian, Jacob, Adam Oliver, Amy, Treasure, Kyle's wife, Grace Philosophy, please send her recovery and good health and help her family and granddaughters. Maggie, Vladislav and Sergey, Susie Myler, Gina and Wayfarer, MS paramedic Liz, Karen from Maine, Lori Miles' husband, Sherry, Layla, Philip's mother, and Thomas Fowle. Also, please help everyone, every child from Ukraine who has been affected. And please send help their way. Shine your heavenly light upon every single child. Also, please help Russian children who have been affected. And I'm asking for a few special children. They are Cadence, Maverick, Sebastian, Coulter, Theo, Madi, 2-year-old niece of Karine Vasseur and Ansley. Please send them recovery and send strength to their families. Thank you so much, dear Lord. Thank you. Amen. Thank you, friends. Thank you for coming. It's been a difficult stream, but hey, Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a stream on Russian economy. The numbers are out for 4 months and they're not good. So please come back tomorrow and learn about what has happened with the Russian economy in the first 4 months of 2023 and what is about to happen soon. Thank you so much. I'd like to say that you are absolutely awesome and you rock. And as usual, I am asking you to say along with me the usual Carthago delenda est.